Hello and welcome to Anchor Your Creativity into the Earth. I'm Laura Bacon and I'm absolutely delighted today to be sharing with Emmy Mutali, who is a fantastic light here on the Earth doing amazing work. And I'll just lead you into a little bit about her background. She's an intuitive healer. She's an energy medicine practitioner and a womb awakening shamana and teacher, dedicated to reawakening ancient feminine wisdom. She facilitates deeply transformational healing processes for women of all ages around the world, and she holds a safe, protected, and non judgmental space for the emergence of authentic connection, profound knowing, and inner power. Emmy is the creatrix of Diving Deep, Rising High retreats, and group programs, and supports her clients to release and heal trauma and wounds related to generational, collective, and individual experiences, including other lifetimes. She also hosts the Sacred Feminine Power podcast, which I was delighted to connect with Emmy with recently. And she runs the House of Gaia, a sacred space for deep healing and rest in Lusaka, Zambia. Emmy, it's an absolute pleasure and a treat to share with you today on creativity. We've connected in some different ways, actually, with some amazing different events, and I'm always really drawn to your work because of the sacred container of the feminine, of the womb space, of the nothing. And personally, in my own journey and coming into creating this event and course, it's very much been rediscovering that, to be able to access creativity in a healthy, safe way. So today it would be beautiful if we could begin with a little bit about your journey into your own path and how creativity might have shown up for you in many ways.
Thank you, Laura. It's an absolute blessing to be here with you, and I'm so grateful for the chance to be chatting with you today. And thank you for that beautiful introduction as well. It's lovely to have this connection with you and to co-create magical stuff in our world in different ways. So thank you. Yeah, so a little bit about my journey. I lived my life from the masculine for a very, very long time. What that meant in practice is that I was always on the go, always needing to do something, always needing to reach higher on the career ladder, always needing to have projects and goals and results in mind, and having to excel in everything that I do. I built a career in development aid or international aid, which meant that I was working in different parts of the world, predominantly with women and children around human rights and so on, and worked for various organizations from the UN to international and local NGOs in the civil society sector, as well as in the more bilateral sector, which is about embassies and government to government support in different parts of the world. And I was so focused on my career for a long time that I put achievement above everything else. And that what that resulted in for me was a total, complete, and utter state of burnout. I was constantly pushing for better results and ignoring the voices from within me, ignoring the messages from my body, ignoring the exhaustion, the tiredness, and the aches and pains that were starting to come through, so that my body was literally calling out to me, stop, you have to slow down, you need to change the way you are working. And I also had two little kids at the time. Both they were both under 2 years old. So you can imagine the circus that my life was. So I was trying to be the perfect mom at home, and I was trying to be the perfect employee at work. And it really just culminated in one day in me finding myself in a heap on the bathroom floor and literally looking for a way out, and a permanent way out. And I had just yelled at my kids. I had cursed at my husband, told them to go away. And I really, really hit rock bottom on that day. And at the same time, when I was in that really deep, dark place, I also felt some really amazing stirring inside my heart, inside my soul, that somehow, and I didn't know how, but somehow I was going to get through this, and somehow I was going to get better.
Mm,
And of course, it wasn't an immediate resolution to what I was going through. I was depressed and I was in the midst of a burnout. But
mm,
that was the beginning of my healing journey as well. And slowly, synchronistically, I started to come across people. I started to come across healing methods that then also supported me on my own healing journey. And I do have to mention that from a very, very early age, ever since I was a small child, I'd always been drawn to various modalities of healing. I'd always been drawn to indigenous tribes and indigenous ways of thinking. And had incorporated various healing modalities into my own life from quite an early age as well, with meditation from the time I was a teenager and so on. But when I focused on my career and when I got kind of sucked into that cycle of wanting to move forward in my life through my career, the healing stuff kind of went on the side. And I forgot about healing for myself, and I certainly wasn't providing healing for anyone else. But after that real rock bottom experience, the healing work, the holistic health stuff started to come back into my life more and more strongly. And then slowly from there, I've built up on that until now, when my predominant focus is on my healing and transformation work and supporting especially women to really lead lives where their masculine and feminine energies are balanced,
mm,
where they are truly in contact, in connection with their ancient feminine wisdom, which we all hold deep within ourselves, and are stepping into their power, into their sacred feminine power in their own unique ways, and thereby also creating the kind of magic that they are meant to be creating in this lifetime on planet Earth.
wow. And it's so important now that we this overstimulation that we've really been all suffering from for quite some time is starting to, the pause is coming in. And I loved how you shared it's that sacred ancient wisdom that when we're quiet we can actually hear it. When we can be still, that's actually the powerful time. And
Yes.
yeah, and so what would the word creativity, I'm really interested in sharing with people in this event about what it really means for you to be creative and that word.
Absolutely. Well, for me, creativity is about connection with that deep wisdom inside you, but also being in alignment with the creativity that is all around us in the universe. And I work a lot with the womb space. And that was almost like the missing piece that came into my life a couple of years ago, in terms of me being able to fully step onto my path and birth the creations that I have created into the world so far. And when we start to work with the womb space, and specifically our own womb spaces to begin with, we need to remember that our womb spaces are sacred cauldrons of feminine wisdom and feminine power. And they contain enormous healing potential, and they contain that creative spark. They literally are the cauldrons or cradles of creativity within ourselves. Even if you no longer have a physical womb space, you can still connect with the energies of the womb space. And men also have an energetic womb space inside themselves. And the thing is that over time, especially with the dawn of patriarchy, we've been made to forget the power of our womb spaces. We've been made to think that our womb spaces are nothing more than part of our biology, part of our physiology. And whilst that is, of course, super important as well, our wombs really carry a lot of magical power.
Mm,
And they are the birthplaces where we bring new life into this world, where we nurture new life into this world, but also where we hold the spark of innovation and the spark of creativity and inspiration. So our warm spaces are also very much about creating new projects,
mm,
creating art, creating music, bringing forth new healing work, anything it is that you are wanting to birth and create, tapping into your womb space will help you and allow you to access those creative powers.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
in Sanskrit, it's mentioned as your Dharma wheel is actually in there. It's everything that you come here to offer and to share with the planet. Is actually, this is our spiritual epicenter of that.
Mm,
And beautiful how we can connect actually men or people without women without wombs. Still, it's still there. It is still a very powerful energetic point. What would be some of the
absolutely.
ways that you might work with people to really start working with that energy there if it's blocked, or can you get blockages
Mm.
there and things?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of us actually carry a lot of blockages inside our womb spaces, and this usually is related to trauma or wounding that we have either picked up during our lifetimes based on our unique life and soul experiences or other lifetimes that we have lived through, but we might also be holding on to trauma and wounds that are from our ancestors. So we're talking about generational blocks and wounding as well. Or it could be collective wounding, especially for women, around the experiences of women over time throughout history in different parts of the world. And within our womb spaces, we often specifically carry scarring or wounding around experiences related to pregnancy and childbirth. If we've had negative experiences around or harmful experiences around that, that is going to leave scars inside your womb space and block your creativity as well. If we've gone through an early loss of a child, whether that's through miscarriage or abortion or a child dying after birth at some point, that will leave blocks inside the womb as well. Um, Sometimes it could even be around giving birth to a child with a disability, for example. And whilst there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, a lot of women carry shame and guilt around that. And when you are in a place of shame or guilt, no matter what the reason for that shame and guilt is, you are not in a state of ease and alignment. And for you to be able to create, you need to be in a state of ease. So
Mm,
it's super important to work through those blockages and really understand the root causes as to why you might be holding on to trauma inside your womb space. And once you have cleared those blockages, you will be able to tap into the creative powers within you, within the universe, and also within Mother Earth. We live on an absolutely incredible planet, and Mother Earth has her own womb space, which is all about creating life, which is all about nurturing life, supporting all of us who have the privilege to be living on this planet at this time. And being able to connect with the womb space of Mother Earth is a beautiful process of releasing and healing and letting go of that which no longer serves you, and kind of seeing that as a recycling of
mm,
things that don't serve you, and then kind of releasing them into Mother Earth for that recycling process, for something new, for something magical to emerge out of that. So connecting with Mother Earth, connecting with your own womb space, releasing wounding and scarring and trauma from that, and also connecting with the cosmic womb. And now we are talking about the primordial black hole, the void, the universe, or the primordial black hole that birthed all universes, and that our ancestors already talked about thousands, tens of thousands of years ago. And realizing that it is that void, the stillness, that space of absolute being and allowing and opening up to
mm,
this void where the spark of creation then starts to arise, and new ideas, new inspirations, new opportunities start to flood into our system. And we have the opportunity to grab and grasp those sparks and turn that into something magical in your life.
I love that. Yes, and I mean, Mother Nature, Mother, she is the ultimate creator and the ultimate alchemist. That we're on this planet that's showing us just in how she behaves, just how we can release and let go of things at this time of year with the leaves falling. It just
Yeah.
everything lets go. And yet it's the human beings that have gripped onto everything so tightly, and then we're in so resistance with the natural flow of the planet. And once we're in flow with that, we can, that opening into that void, that's where the absolute magic that the human mind cannot conceive. I think we have a very limited perception of what we can create. And I've been working a lot with the horror, and going into this state of horror where it's really nothing. There is no thoughts. There's nothing there, and that's how we can begin to put things into the imaginal realm, the quantum field, about what we actually want to. Because we're here in this gift of every moment of every day as a creation, and
Yes, I love that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And every day you have an opportunity to create your life anew. You
yeah,
have a choice.
yeah. And yet it's been very heartbreaking for me to meet people who have ideas or things they'd like to birth. And I love how you spoke
Mm.
about birthing. Because for me, I mean, I'm actually pregnant as well, and I'm in this incredible cauldron of feeling all of this amazing energy in the womb space, just developing, and this life force, and then these other projects and things I'm doing still spilling out. And when you meet people who have an idea but they're finding it hard to anchor that, or to actually or they get it to a certain point in their body and then they just can't quite finish it, it begins to toxify the energy, I found. So is there anything you could, any kind of tips you have for people, or in your own journey where you felt some challenges? You mentioned setting up your these very new businesses. You kind of moved away from that very masculine doing to move back into your healing modalities and actually become a practitioner, and making that your offering to the earth. What were some
Mm.
of the challenges in terms of birthing those along the way?
Mm. I think the biggest one really was to be able to surrender to a state of trust, where you absolutely know that when you step fully onto your soul's path and you are doing what you are meant to be doing in this lifetime on our planet, the universe will carry you, the divine feminine will carry you, and you've got the energies of the Great Mother constantly supporting you and holding you. And of course, because of the context that we all live in, money is always a big issue. It is still something that we all need. It might change in the future, but at the moment, it is still something that we need. And being able to trust in the fact that when you are doing what you are meant to do and bringing your soul gifts out into the world, you are going to be okay, that you will be looked after. And challenges. There will always be challenges. That's part of the human experience on this planet. But the challenges are opportunities for you to grow, opportunities for you to dig deeper and see where you might still have some healing to do in terms of wounding that you might be carrying in relation to whatever it is that those blocks might be relating to. So, learning to find that space of trust and having patience, that's been a big one, because I like to, I still find this overachiever inside myself quite often. So she's something that I'm learning to work with and balance in my life, and remembering that sometimes the most important thing to do is to plant the seed, take a
Mm.
step back and allow. And that takes a lot of patience and that takes a lot of practice, especially if you are used to having a busy schedule, if you're used to seeing results pretty quickly and taking action all the time. And then being able to step back into that very, very feminine space of just waiting. And it's exactly where you are at the moment as well, Laura, in terms of being pregnant, that
Mm.
your body is doing this amazing, miraculous work inside you. And all you need to do is allow for it to happen.
Mm.
And imagine if we could do this also with our creative offerings into the world, knowing that when the seed has been planted, and you might be taking little baby steps towards that, but at some point, being able to take that step back and just wait.
It's massive. That's where the magic really happens. And I think even in conceiving, the mind often for people is we need to do this, we need to fit it in here. How's it? But actually, life force doesn't work in that way. It doesn't operate in that way. It works on an energetic perspective of what is open to receive the love. And
Yes.
we have been, as a planet, I think, moving around with a very tight breath for a long time, unable to actually receive from our own mother. And it's a really exciting time, I feel, that our remembrance or our coming back into alignment with that is happening. And yeah, I mean, with if somebody was, say, feeling, because what we're interested in is looking at helping people to clear some of their blocks. Were there any techniques, if you had something come up, maybe something, maybe it's a wounding, a womb space wounding, or
Mhm.
something you're feeling that is really making it difficult for you to push past? What might be some of the ways you would approach that?
Mm. So there's a number of ways that I work with my clients, and I weave together the various healing modalities that I've learned on my journey and that have really been of immense help to me as well. One of the most effective ways that I find to clear these kinds of blocks is to use a mixture of methods called EFT or tapping and matrix reimprinting, which are very powerful yet quite simple tools that you can use independently and also with a facilitator or a trained practitioner who can guide you through a process. And these methods are so powerful because they really take you into your subconscious very quickly, connect you with your emotions, and allow you to find the root cause as to why you might be having this block. And sometimes people are completely surprised as to what that root cause actually is. It could be an event from early on in childhood that they have absolutely no conscious recollection of. But by using the methods like tapping, you are able to quite quickly bring that memory or bring that event or an inkling of that event into your conscious. And that's when we start to work with those younger versions of you, whether it's this lifetime or another lifetime or something that's coming through your lineage, and really at a deep level clear it and heal it so that something beautiful and new is able to emerge. So that's one way, the tapping and the matrix reimprinting, which are more modern energy shifting practices.
Mm.
But then there's also more shamanic practices, more guided meditations and guided journeys that are also hugely powerful in terms of supporting the healing, the internal healing of the womb space, for example. And that really take you deep into what I call the realm of womb consciousness, where you are again opening up to the healing energies that you already have inside you and that so many of us have forgotten about. And we are allowing ourselves to tap into these hugely powerful energies in connection with the Mother Earth, in connection with the cosmic womb as well, and unblocking energy that is stopping you from moving forward, unblocking energies that are stopping from you from creating what you want and need to create in this lifetime. And when you combine these, which is often what I do with my clients, wow, it becomes pretty magical.
I love that you're saying that actually we all can become our own healer, because really we're creating the emotions that come up. We have a choice to feel that and to really almost weeding, go back down into the root of it, and know that actually what's kind of operating our system is that inner child. And what's set then is, and as you say, it is deep multidimensional because it can go into other lives or parallel lives. But it's the awareness, isn't it? I guess it's that an awareness and total love and acceptance of it allows it to free up, and then we're not stuck in that kind of rigidity or that block. It's
Mm.
beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it can be difficult to do the unblocking yourself, especially if you are not familiar with different kinds of healing methods and processes. And if you if you are holding on to a lot of trauma inside your womb space, for example,
Mm.
some of it is that, or a lot of that often is subconscious. So you are not consciously aware that you are holding on to that trauma, and you're not consciously aware that this is what is blocking you from moving forward. So that's why it can be super helpful to work with a practitioner who's able to ask you the right kinds of questions and who's able to kind of lead the process in a gentle way so that you're able to go deeper within and get the answers and get the intuitive nudges, and I call them womb winks, that kind of then help you along on your path and help you to clear what it is that's blocking you. And what you mentioned about the receptivity, that is also so important, because for a lot of us, it is easy for us to give. It is easy for us to support others. It is easy for us to always make sure that we're putting other people ahead of us, other or animals ahead of us, whatever it is that we are devoting our attention and giving our love to, whilst at the same time forgetting that we truly are our own priority. And there's nothing selfish about that. We need to look after ourselves. We need to make sure that our cups are full so that we are truly able to support others as well. And when you are in that kind of a space, it can be really difficult to be open to receiving support as well, whether that's support from other people or whether that's more energetic support coming from Mother Earth or from the universe, the divine intelligence. And the more we learn to open up, the more we learn to receive, the more we are then also able to birth and create our own projects.
Beautiful. And do you have a divine process in terms of your birthing process? Is there something that you would, or do you find with each project, and along the way I found each one is like a child, they're different. I couldn't say it's always the same, but there was a natural progression actually of how I was managing to actually anchor them and allow them to be fully standing in the earth rather than just an idea that floats off again. And what would be, could you share some of your process?
Sure, absolutely. I always connect with my womb space before I start doing anything creative. So I ask for guidance from my womb space and I ask to enter into that space or that realm where creativity and creation are possible. And I also work with my guides. Mother Mary is one of my primary guides, and she has been of absolutely huge help to me for quite some time now. And I consult with her with everything that I do. So I always ask her to be present as well. There's also a number of guided meditations or journeys that I would take my clients on when we start to work with abundance or manifestation of their dreams and so on. And would you like me to take you through one of those?
That would be amazing. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Yeah, so I'll take part as well. Is that, yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant.
absolutely. Yeah, sure. Beautiful. Okay, so if it feels safe and good for you to do so, you can close your eyes. And you might also want to place your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your womb space.
Mm.
And then just take a couple of deep breaths, remembering that your breath itself is sacred and a magical portal into yourself and into the energies around you. And allow yourself to take the deepest breath you've taken all day today, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. You might even want to let out a sigh as you're breathing out. And with each breath, just allow your body to relax a little bit more. Feel your muscles growing heavier. Feel yourself floating into the present moment. And then bring your awareness inwards and consciously connect with your womb space or the energy of your womb space if you don't have a physical womb. And just tune into the energy of your womb space. Just notice how she's feeling today. Open up to the connection. Open up to the energies inside you. You might want to greet your womb space and send her some gratitude for everything she does for you. Keep breathing. And then with your mind's eye, see yourself inside your womb space. See yourself standing in this beautiful, powerful, velvety darkness inside your womb. And as you're standing there inside your womb space, you notice a doorway that is lit by crystal lamps on one side of your womb. You walk towards that door. You open the door and step through. And on the other side, you see this beautiful garden, lush, beautiful garden. Just look around you. Notice what you see. What do you notice? What's inside your garden? What do you hear? What do you smell in this garden? And what do you taste as you're looking around in this beautiful garden? And then start to walk inside your garden, start to explore a little bit. And as you are exploring, you notice a little pond a few meters away from you, and you start to walk towards that pond. And in that pond, floating on the water, is a leaf. And on that leaf, there is a beautiful, radiant golden seed. You reach out for the leaf, you pull it towards you, and you very gently pick up this golden seed from the leaf. Hold that seed on your palm. Feel into the energy. Notice how it's glowing and radiating this beautiful, magical energy. This is the seed of your dreams. And what I would like you to do now is either whisper or out loud, state your dream to this seed. Tell this seed what it is that you want to birth and create on this beautiful planet of ours. Your soul dream, your soul creation. Whisper it or state it to the seed. And then find a spot inside your garden where you would like to plant this seed. So walk around, perhaps even run, whatever feels good for you, and find that sacred spot inside your garden. Could be by a tree, could be by the pond, could be by beautiful flowers, wherever it is that your heart and your womb are calling you to plant this seed. And when you've found that spot, dig a small hole in the ground, using your hands, connecting with this beautiful, enriching, nourishing soil. And then place the seed inside the hole. Whisper your well wishes, whisper your gratitude to the seed, knowing that you have planted the seed for your dream, for what you want to birth and truly create. And know that you can come back to this garden to check on your seed, to watch as the seed grows and develops into the beautiful, magnificent creation that you are meant to birth. And once you've said your thanks to the seed, you can turn and walk back to the doorway where you came from. Glance around your garden once more, taking in the sounds, the smells, all the beauty, and then reach for the door, open it, and walk through, back into your womb space, back into the dark, velvety space. Offer your thanks to your womb space, and then slowly, slowly start to bring your awareness back to your body, back to the room that you are in. You might want to wiggle your fingers and your toes a little bit, perhaps sway your body, move her, stretch, whatever feels important for you right now. And when you feel ready and there's absolutely no rush, you can slowly, slowly open your eyes.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
Really
you.
powerful. That going into the space. I've done meditations where I've moved into the heart and other areas, but never the womb. And that
Mm,
was really, really powerful. And always with
yeah.
these meditations, where you are, there's so much almost right brain, feminine symbology about what you see and what you smell, and it's fascinating. All this
Yeah.
wisdom is within us, and we can access it. Any point. That was such a beautiful meditation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I really hope, and it's my wish that as many people can watch and enjoy that as possible. Uh, because actually, when we become connected to that space, our space of power, then we can begin living a life of our dreams rather than this feeling of rushing, and and it's never enough, and never, it's because we're just chasing our tail, I think. In the grand scheme of things, it's sort of stepping off.
Mm.
Beautiful. Oh wow, I could keep talking to you for so long. How are we doing? Well, I think we're one last thing just about masculine and feminine. This is something that's coming through in this event quite strongly, is that it's really to birth any creative idea or any it's a masculine and feminine within you that have got to learn to dance together and become in balance.
Mm.
Anything on that feeling of balance, just to before we leave and close, just that you could suggest to people watching this.
Mm. And I love the way you spoke about the dance between the masculine and feminine, because that's exactly what it is. We the creation, the creativity, it's very much a feminine space, in the sense that we need to take that step back that I mentioned earlier, and really open up to the creative energies to come through into us, and for us to allow this energy to really come into fruition in a magical way. So the feminine side is the stepping back, it's the allowing, it's that receptivity, it's that opening up to what is around us and that is supporting us on all levels. Whereas the masculine side, which is just as important, is then the ability to take action, to grab those sparks of intuition, to grab those sparks of creativity when they come to you, when they present it to you, and take action on those. So rather than staying forever in that space of just allowing and being, you are also being a conscious co-creator. You're being a conscious manifester in what you're wanting to birth into life on our planet. And the masculine side allows us then to be more actionable, allows us to put in place what we need to put in place for this manifestation to happen, to take the right steps, to ensure that we are doing what we need to be doing. Because it's very easy to be in either one of those. But once you manage to balance them, and once you start to consciously work with that harmony and with that balance, that's when the beauty really starts to happen. That's when the magic starts to come through you into the world.
And actually, one must see it visually as the masculine being the tent poles, and also that the magic is the blueprint of the, and we need to sort of anchor, put the poles in, and then this incredible kind of covering comes on with the feminine. And but it's very easy sometimes to slip into too much of the masculine. So I feel potentially when somebody is beginning to birth a project, it's doing something for a little bit of time and then giving it that space to feel what else can come through your intuition, or what else actually allowing. I've talked about the cosmic dance before, of we do something and then we allow the universe as well to reflect something back to us. And if we're constantly in the movement, we can the flow isn't as easy. It should feel easy, and it should feel uplifting and joyous and expansive. And those are all some big clues, I think, when it doesn't feel like that, that there's something out of balance there. But
Absolutely, yes. And you'll also be missing some of the hints and the clues and the nudges from the universe that are being thrown at you or offered you
yeah,
all the time. And if you're constantly in that space of doing and needing to get stuff done, you're going to miss those.
yeah. And on the flip, sometimes people are just in that constant of, take it, but they're not able to anchor anything, and so therefore
That's
it doesn't
right.
get done. So it is such a beautiful dualistic planet that we're on, in that
Mm,
that actually it's between Mother Earth and Father Sky, and the stars. We're the conduit in the middle that brings that together, and we are the ones who can help them to have that dialogue between them, I guess, and through us as well, of our inner dialogue. But Emmy, it's been absolutely wonderful, just beautiful sharing with you and listening to you and all of your wonderful wisdoms, golden wisdoms about the womb space. And I I really hope that many people can watch this and enjoy that beautiful sharing with the meditation. It was so powerful. I'm going to have to go off and journal about what came up. It was brilliant. And also feeling this little being in here as well, enjoying
mm,
that for them as well. They have a little miniature womb in there as well. So
mm.
the microcosm. But is there any, would you like to share some ways that people can connect with you if they were interested in beginning to do that, a very important clearing work with the womb and working with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a website, www.femininerevered.com, which is probably the easiest way to find me. And you can also join my mailing list through my website. And then I also have a Facebook site, thefemininerevered.com. And yeah, I think those are the easiest. I also have a YouTube channel, but I haven't been very prolific in terms of putting videos up there. But it's getting there's a few resources there as well. So if you're interested to see a few more interviews that I've done in the past and to learn more about me, then that's a good place to go to as well. And you will find it when you do a search under Feminine Revered on YouTube.
Brilliant. And actually, on our summit, that will you be able to offer a gift or maybe another meditation as part of the summit? When people log on and they click onto your page, they can find out lots of information about you as well.
Sure, absolutely. I'd be very, very happy to gift something. You can, number one, get a free ebook around what I call the five core feminine wounds through my website. So when you go onto my website, you can sign up for this ebook, and that will give you a lot more information about what I call the five core feminine wounds, including the mother wound, the sister wound, the body wound, and oh my gosh, I'm starting to forget my own word.
It happens.
Oh, I'm now completely in that feminine space of just being.
Much wound, yeah. But it's good. That's the magical wound, that when people
Yeah,
makes sense. It's maybe
that's
some
right.
masculine in there, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, the other two wounds are the menstruation wound and then the womb wound itself. So you'll be able to find out a bit more about those.
Amazing.
And then I'd be happy to also gift another meditation that is called the Triple Womb Connection. That is really about connecting with your own womb space, connecting with the womb of Gaia or Mother Earth, and then connecting with the cosmic womb space and allowing the energies of the three to really cleanse and clear you from within and to bring in powerful energies of creation and receptivity, abundance, and love into your own womb space as well.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you. Thank you from all of my heart to yours. It's been an absolute pleasure and a gift to share with you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching. And we look forward to seeing you at the next event.